folks, it's Amy K. Sunday Funday here for you on a Monday. I know I'm a little late this week, but I actually went back to the office. I've been slinging some drinks down at Jeffrey's Grocery in the West Village, and it's been a lot of work this week, so the live video had to wait till today. So I apologize for my 311 followers now. Thanks, Aaron Pallison, for helping me out with that. But I believe there may only be one or two today for this live 5:30 session. But hopefully some of you can put those laptops away, get off those Zoom meetings, because I have a surprise, delicious cocktail for you. So there is a lovely human being by the name of Vanessa who's out in the DC area. And she was in one of my Zoom classes recently, and she said to me, Amy, I have a daydream. I have a daydream of basil, gin, citrus, shaken, sitting by a pool. Someday we'll do that again, Vanessa, someday. So I said to her, I'm going to create something for you, just for you this week. So we're going off book. We're getting crazy here in Brooklyn. Got my lady Pamela Stubbs, best camera woman in the land. Let's give her a little woo! So what we're doing today is we have created a cocktail for Vanessa in DC. This is called Vanessa's Daydream. So what I'm going to do for you today, it's going to be a little twist on a gimlet. Say like a gimlet meets a Gibson and had a baby with a daiquiri. We're going to make that all in one. So today we're going to be using, Pam, if you can zoom in here on some of these ingredients, we're going to be using one of my favorite gins, Plymouth Gin. One of my favorite aged white rums, Denison rum. We'll talk about these two in a moment. Some good old-fashioned simple syrup, some fresh lime, and a nice little sprig of fresh basil. And we actually get this from downstairs in our home garden from our wonderful neighbor, Jerry. So thank you, Jerry, very much. I don't think Jerry's on the gram, so I'll show him this later. So what we're actually going to do with the gin, what I did is a little trick. We played around. We infused this gin. So what we did, we took a handful of fresh basil. Why I say what we did is my lovely lady Pamela Stubbs got this basil for me. She was a little bit late, but she infused it while I was a little busy this weekend back at work. So thank you, honey. So we have the fresh basil, and what we do is we bring that basil to about a pint of gin, Plymouth. We crush it up, muddle the basil. We let it sit for approximately 24 hours. Now this, folks, is to get enough gin if you want to make 2 to 3 drinks. But usually if you're working in a bar and you need a lot more gin, higher volumes of gin, we would literally dump this whole bottle into another vessel, and then you would mash up at least 3 handfuls. It's basically playing around to your palate. You can't go wrong. You can make it stronger, lighter, but because gin is already so botanical, you might want to infuse it and use a little extra basil to really bring it out. So that's a good tip there. Now Plymouth Gin, folks, is one of my favorites because it's a London-style dry gin. You're playing around with coriander, lemon peel, juniper, orris fruit. Yes, I do have a note here. I forget sometimes. And you just blend those all together, and it's great because it's well balanced, it's fresh, it's clean. There are a lot of different styles, more contemporary gins out there nowadays that are extremely delicious, but many more ingredients. I'm going to give a shout out to my good friend Robbie Nelson, who works for Amass Gin. Amass is based out of LA, and they've blown up. If you want to have a delicious gin just on the rocks or a martini, go find it. Sexy black bottle, amazing packaging, and Robbie is kicking ass selling that gin. So, wow, kisses to Robbie. We need some over here too, by the way. Still waiting, Robbie. Then we're going to actually get a little crazy, and we're going to use a little splash of this rum that I talked about. So, Denison rum, they are actually, it's a pretty unique story about this rum. Because they use 3 different types of rum from Trinidad and Jamaica, and then they have master blenders out of Amsterdam that goes back to about the 1700s, and they bring this delicious Denison rum to you, aged 3 years white. Then we're gonna do our simple syrup, our fresh lime, and the basil. Tools today, our standard Boston shakers. We're gonna use our jiggers. We're gonna use our Hawthorne strainer. And we need some fresh ice and your favorite glass to pour it into. Now, what I always say, and a lot of you that follow my Sunday Fun Day videos that I do weekly or posts that I make, I always encourage for different tools. Not everybody can get their hands on these tools, so a mason jar is actually amazing to shake this with. Instead of jiggers, you can use anything that measures liquid. So just play around. There's so many things in your home kitchen. I'm sure you can come up with it. And when you're using your fresh lime, hey, if you don't have a handheld strainer, use your hands, but make sure they're clean. Anywho, so first step, what we're gonna do with this fun drink, we are gonna build this. And I always say start with the less expensive ingredients first and build your way up, because if you make mistakes along the way, like I always do, you're not wasting the more expensive ones. So what we're gonna do today, Pam, please get these nice, they don't need to see me anymore, it's all about the drink. So we're gonna do 3 nice ounces of fresh lime. Then we're gonna do a half of the simple, just a half, because I'll explain why we're gonna be putting a touch of the rum. So this rum has really rich notes of some coconut, banana, almonds, so it's going to really play well with the sweetener already. So we're going to do literally a bar spoon that we call, which is basically about a half ounce of rum. Boom. And then we're going to put this away because we're using the infusion. Now we're going to do two nice pours of the infused Plymouth basil. Boom. I'm going to put that aside. And then you want to get your ice, always fill it. I would say about 5 to 6 cubes to give it some really nice chill. We're gonna pour that in. And always pack it. And like I said, if you're using the mason jar, folks, make sure you obviously have the lid. But when you're doing the hard shake, because you want to give it like a good 20-second shake until it's so cold you don't want to hold on to it anymore. But always be careful with the glass jar because it could shatter, but these are made they're pretty strong and pretty durable. So like I always say, when you shake, you got to give it a woo, and you got to really like woo, as we know, because not a lot of people woo, and it's tough times. We got to let it out. We got to let it out. So this is, Pam, if you can show the folks, it's so cold to the touch, so you're gonna smack that. Gonna put this, grab our glass. Vanessa, I hope you're watching, or you do watch eventually, because this is your Daydream, and it's gonna be really darn delicious. So we're gonna double strain this like so. Look at that, look at that. Tap out a little bit of that extra. You can get a little dance when you're doing it. Put this aside. And now you can see, it's like the style of a daiquiri, like a gimlet. Very beautiful. You could do this on the rocks too, but I think it's just much more refreshing. And then what you want to do, with this garnish of fresh basil, to really give it an extra pop and bring out the aromas, you want to pop it right in your hand like that. And this is Vanessa's Daydream. I'm going to taste it, Vanessa. Oh my goodness. It's heaven. Vanessa, I think we could get really rich fast. So again, please, if you have any questions, DM me, call me, text Pam, text anybody. These are our wonderful ingredients. Everything is really, really easy to get. And Cocktail Kingdom for the tools, I always give them a plug. Bow ties, great place for these wonderful bow ties. Winnie Stubbs loves them. I'm sorry I didn't wear it last week, Winnie. I was poolside with Beyonce. But please, please, tune in every week, Amy K Sunday Fun Day. Moving forward, these live videos are going to be a little wonky because I don't know when they're going to need me down in that West Village. But until then, enjoy Vanessa's Daydream and stay safe. We're reopening. Wear your mask, everyone. Stay safe. Woo!